Shagman here from the shagman.com. So my granddad, now he just made the All Blacks, but my mum's going to tell the story about him. So Mum, this is your dad.
My father I was born in 1944, and my father was selected for the All Blacks. Just before war broke out, which would have been 1938, 39, and he never ever got to play because war broke out, and he wanted to go overseas and fight in the war, which all his friends and classmates were doing, but they made him stay here. He was told he was on essential services. He was designing minesweepers because the Japanese were coming down the Pacific towards New Zealand and Australia, and he was designing minesweepers. He was called essential services mechanical something, I think, and designing minesweepers to pick up the Japanese before they came down. At the time, my aunt was working in a shop in the city in Christchurch, and the Japanese ladies used to come in and say, "We're going to plant rice on the hills here, the hills that surround Christchurch. We're going to grow rice and we're going to put paddy fields in there." And of course they didn't realise that they were about to be hit by the Japanese.
So this is in Christchurch in New Zealand, right?
In New Zealand,
and
in the late, would have been the early 40s.
And so you've got, so Grandad made the trials, and there's a photo of him, of the team, but they never got to play.
No, they never got to play. It was absolutely sad, and he was very good at sport. My brother and I weren't, but he never got to play because of the war. That was what happened then, I suppose. Yeah.
And you said there was a list of the All Blacks, and he was on that list. Right?
He was on the list, and my mother didn't want him to go because I was a baby, and he was sent up to Lake Karapiro in the North Island. He was working on, they were designing and putting a big dam up there because they thought the water would be all taken. They'd lose all the water during the war. They were damming it, and he had to go up there, and Mum and I were in Christchurch, and it was snowing. And in 1945, when the war finished, my mum can remember people in Christchurch dancing in the square in the snow to celebrate that war was over and the men were coming home. And of course, lots and lots of them didn't come home.
Right. Okay, thank you for that.